Hello, Stephen Barber here, Freedom Lifestyle Guide and Vlogger. So I'm sitting at the El Cid Marina, the north end of Mazatlan, and I just gave my name to the port captain authority to see if there's someone here that needs help on their boat, because I love being on the ocean, so we'll see what comes up with that. I'm inspired to check it out and see what comes up. But also I'm inspired to tell you a little bit about my day today and some of the conversations I have had that center around the beginning religious formations of my life. And so, you know, it just really struck me, and I had a conversation with some people on the beach today that are Christian people. That's how I was raised, a Christian person. And got into an interesting conversation about that, and then later someone sent me a link to a podcast that talk about their breakup or divorce, I think it was called, with religion. I could get the name and post it on here, but this woman that was doing the podcast was talking about how traumatic it was for her. And it reminded me about just how traumatic it was for me and how depressed I became over, as she calls it, losing her faith or losing her religion, and going into a place of unknown, not knowing really truly what you do believe, but not knowing that you can continue to believe what you've been brought up with, that I also had formed my whole life around. It was the center of who I was and what I was about at its core. And when that all came apart and I started to question my faith, not only am I questioning my faith, but I was being questioned by everyone around me who loves me, concerned for me, not out of ill intent, but do not want to see you change or leave or develop any new conflicting beliefs. And so this person that was doing the podcast was talking about how, you know, same with me, marriage was dissolving, raising kids, losing your identity in the religious community, being outcast by people in the religious community, being talked about behind your back by people in the community. These are people that you felt very connected to at, you know, some point in your life. It was who you were. This is where you went to their houses to visit. This is where you had your picnics. This is where you went to church and Bible studies, and who you went for lunch with. It was, other than going to work, it was how you hung out, what you believed, and all of that. When that changes, and a lot of other things happen simultaneously, she calls it trauma, and actually counsels people through that trauma. Well, I didn't have anybody to do that for me for a long time. In fact, my counselors were other Christians who only told me that I was, you know, bad and wrong, and get over it and get on with your life and do it properly. So I went into depression. I went into 2 depressions actually, and became dependent on drugs to keep me at a certain level. And when I found out about the law of attraction, it was then that I started having enough courage, stamina, belief, somewhat of a new forming of my own ideas about how this world works, and came off of that and finally found a counselor who was law of attraction based, that kind of opened the door to me to they didn't speak to me about religious or spiritual things at all. They just talked about my ability to choose my thoughts, and that it was okay to choose my thoughts and to form my beliefs. And even that wasn't taught to me. These are things that I figured out along the way. But it just really occurred to me what a journey it has been on, the journey that I've been on. Man, it was so hard. I mean, I considered ending my life. You feel so lost and going into a place of unknown darkness, and people would say, well, if you don't believe that, what do you believe? And your best answer is, I don't know, I'm figuring it out. So I'm so glad now that I have these beliefs, and it still is in contrast or conflict or difference with people who hold the beliefs that I used to hold, such as the conversation today. What feels really cool to me, though, is I have no agenda or desire to really change anybody else's beliefs. If they want to tell me what they believe, they can. And if asked, I may naturally talk to them about things that I believe, but not in a way to change them. I'm hoping that we all want to evolve, but I more and more understand that we're all on our own path, our own journey, and we can all pick what works for us. We all make it up, what we believe in. It's just that the way I was raised, there was too many unanswered questions, big questions, or at the end of the day, I felt like, I'm sorry to say, but I had to almost commit an intellectual suicide. Although there's faith involved in what I do now, it all makes sense, and I'm not left with these lingering, really disturbing questions about how it all works, and the best answers I was getting, continue to get, is, well, you just have to have faith. Well, that's a nice thing to say, and I kind of get it, but not when it goes in opposition to your own insides that go, oh, So anyway, that's just my story. If it offends you, what I say, not my intention. I guess my intention would be that if you are in a struggle or you are wondering about things, then that's my story, and maybe that's helpful to you. So I hope it does help, and if it does help, write me a comment. If you're triggered by what I say, I welcome your comment. It's all fine. I'm not going to engage in sort of social media warfare or whatever, but I'm always curious to hear what people think. So thanks very much. I wish you a great day. I'm down at the marina. The sun is setting. I hope the sound quality of this video is at least decent. Bye for now. Hello everyone. A quick little addendum to the first part is that when I was doing my affirmations and appreciation journaling, setting intentions for the day, when I was doing the affirmations thing, part of it, I was writing down that I have never felt more free, more alive, more happy, more invigorated, more supported than I do now. And that is only going to continue in my belief as I stay in alignment with who I truly am and my Creator, the source of all of which I'm a part. I am just feeling so good. And today I listened to a Abraham Esther Hicks talk where someone was asking about coming into alignment and the feelings of that, and I could just feel inside me this intense satisfaction with life, with who I am and what I'm about and where this is going, and supported and loved. And I wish I had the things in front of me that I said life is a string of moments of feeling good, connected to another one that feels good, connected to another one that feels good. And the universe just keeps bringing more of that to me because that's what I'm focused on. And some people would say that this is living in unreality. Got to get real and be realistic. And I say you can keep your realism. I lived in it for 50 years. I'm done with it. If I'm unrealistic and I'm happy, then bring it. I can be the most delusional person on the planet. I really do not care as long as I'm happy. And you know what? In my happiness, I know that just spills over onto other people. My happiness is not to harm or do damage to anybody else in any other way. When you live in love and when you live in joy, that's what overflows onto other people. And I'm just so happy to be in that place. So although I can't remember exactly the affirmations, they were strongly encouraging and empowering and uplifting to me. And it's that energy that I'm so happy to enjoy in my life right now, as opposed to where I was, say, 10 years ago in darkness, laying prostrate on the floor some days, not knowing how the hell I was going to get through that day and wondering if I wanted to even live anymore. I'm so glad that I've gone through and done my work and examined my beliefs and come up with what makes sense to me, something that I can feel good about, that I can not defend but explain in a way that I'm not left with, oh well, you just gotta believe it and take it on faith. You know, it resonates with us. We all have our inner knowing system inside, and people that, you know, have chosen other paths or other religions, I'm hoping and trusting that they have followed their own inner guidance as well, and that they're not doing it out of fear, because that is quite often what I notice people doing, is making their decisions based on fear, because if I don't believe this, then something really bad is going to happen. The ultimate thing being burning in hell for the rest of your life. So anyway, I just felt encouraged to say that last little bit. The sun is setting, my hand is shaking, the videos, should put my other arm up here and try to steady the thing, because holding it this still for that long, I don't have my tripod with me. Anyway, addendum part 2 added and completed, signed, sealed, delivered, over and out. Bye for now.